Welcome to another exciting edition of Rock and Doc. My name is Rennie G. I am a musician, a peer counselor, and a recovering addict.
Hi, I'm Tony Massey, psychiatrist, addiction medicine specialist here at Colmac Clinic, and I am Doc.
And I'm Rock.
All right.
Here we go. Another exciting edition.
Another,
you like that?
yeah.
I improvise.
We just keep rolling on. You improvise. It sounds like the same thing you always say, though.
But I said, welcome to another exciting edition. I'm trying to amp it up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Here's a question from Jane.
Hi, Jane.
She actually greeted us by name, Rock and Doc.
All right.
It says this. Jane says, "Hi guys, I need help. I am in outpatient care. I have several days sober, and I'm in a bit of a pickle. Several days, that's pretty good.
It's not bad, yeah. A few days back, and maybe wouldn't even thought it should be several days.
Yeah, I couldn't get 3 days, so I can respect that. My husband is fed up with me and my behavior. He said he's going to leave me, and I don't know how to handle the stress. I don't know what to do. And he says he does not think addiction is a disease, and why couldn't I just stop? And then help Jane. Didn't say where she's from.
Didn't say where she's from.
No.
Jane.
So spousal.
Yeah.
The old. Why couldn't you just stop? I don't know.
I there's like so many points you can make about the addiction being a disease, and whether disease is well controlled or not. There's perhaps some behavioral part to that, but it's clearly disease. But I think that's not really the question. The question is, how do you navigate relationships as you're entering into sobriety and recovery?
Yes, which is extremely stressful in its own little microcosm. Add relationships, job, car breaks down, dog goes to the vet, bills. How do you manage all that?
Yeah, well, and nobody said that the first couple of weeks or months of recovery are easy. I mean, it's
called early recovery for a reason.
Yeah, so you're. Believe it or not, you're kind of where a lot of people are early on in terms of finally kind of waking up into abstinence and finding out like, oh man, there's just a lot of chaos here.
This is uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you're not drinking, Jane, or drugging or whatever, and that's wonderful. So, but I think that really the important thing to think about in a relationship is that actually it is a relationship. It's not you in isolation and your husband in isolation, and it can never have interacted before, So something's been going on between you two for quite a while, however long you married, and before that even, and
patterns of behavior.
Patterns of behavior, yeah. So it does take two to tango, and then if you're like tangoing and you decide to shift to a waltz and the other person's tangoing,
right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, they are going to be out of step.
So it may be something. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I totally agree with that. I mean, I am married. I've been married for a long time, and I stated before I'm in recovery. So I got sober with a spouse who didn't quite understand. How could I do what I did? How did I? And let's go back to the disease concept. People who are non-addicts, which is the majority of the population, why would they understand addiction? What motivates a person like that to even begin to understand the ability of somebody or the disability of somebody to be able to say no? So it sounds like her husband is looking at her past behavior, going, "You've lied to me so many times. How can I trust you now? What can Jane do now?" I think Jane, honestly, my opinion is that do nothing. Do nothing. This is something, if you've got several days sober, great. But, if you can avoid getting into a divorce situation or even discussing like the intricacies of a marriage or a separation while you have, while at least you're in treatment, it takes a long time for, and you can concur, for the brain to get to a place where it's stable enough to think, it's in a healing process. So this is not a good time for heavy decision making. any really life changes should be put off at least until I would say 6 to 9 months.
Yeah,
So,
I would say
Yeah.
maybe a year if you
Yeah.
can do it. Sometimes it's harder. Everyone's impatient, wants things to happen right away.
maybe the husband could find his way into getting some more of an understanding of Jane's condition, like an Al-Anon meeting.
Al-Anon, yeah.
Or some type of, like here at Colmac we have there's a family group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's help for the spouses, and I think that the husband's responsibility might be to at least begin to try to understand what it's like to come from her perspective.
Yeah, and then gain some degree, hopefully some degree of patience, and kind of see where things land, because really I would say at least 5 or 6 months before at least your brain starts working more of a normal pattern.
Mechanically.
Yeah,
I mean, nothing you can
we're
hurry,
just
right?
we're just talking biology here, again,
Right.
So
You can't make it heal faster.
yeah, so I'd say pin it.
Yep, put a pin in it, and hopefully he's willing to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to do this like this because I would say just bring him in. I'd love to talk to him, but we can't do that.
Put a pin in him.
Put a pin in him. But if you want to show him this, we are here to tell him that this is indeed a legitimate disease condition. What type of disease? I don't know that it's that clear, but it is certainly not a moral issue or an ethical issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's really addiction is much broader than that.
Yeah.